The following are my 9 best tips to relieve cluster headaches naturally. So tip number 1 is magnesium, making sure that you are upping your magnesium intake. And it's very difficult to get enough magnesium from food. In my opinion, most people do need to take a good high quality magnesium supplement. So if you're not sure where to start to look for that, make sure you check out the links below. Tip number 2 is to use cold compresses. This is fantastic for any type of headache, but of course we know that the cluster headaches often will center in around the forehead and usually around one eye as it's related to the trigeminal nerve. And using those cold compresses can be really helpful, especially in the frontal area of the head. Tip number 3 is to inhale apple cider vinegar in hot steamy water. So all you're going to do is boil some water in a kettle or on the stove in a big pot or in a big bowl and put your head over this, and you've added in about a half a cup of apple cider vinegar into, and allow yourself to inhale that steam. And there's something about that combination that can be really helpful, both topically because of the steam and the apple cider vinegar, but in that inhalation as well for those cluster headaches. Tip number 4 is to use sandalwood and the essential oil of sandalwood on the forehead specifically. So sandalwood is a very relaxing essential oil, helps to relax the nervous system. Tip number 5 is to use cold tea bags on the eyes, especially when you have that eye pain as it's related to the cluster headaches. All you're going to do is boil your water and just use a little bit of water in your mug or your cup and use a couple of tea bags. Now allow it to sit for just a few moments, 3 to 5 minutes, and then you're going to remove your tea bags, and either you can use a black tea, so an orange pekoe, a black tea, or a chamomile tea is great for this as well. And remove those tea bags, either put them on a plate or on a surface and into the fridge. Now you can sort of speed up that time putting them in the freezer as well. Only about 10 minutes in there. They get nice and cold, and then apply those to the eyes and leave them on for about 15 to 20 minutes. So this is fantastic for that eye pain and inflammation as it's related to the cluster headaches. Tip number 6 is to make sure that you do grounding or earthing. You also want to limit your EMF exposure. So if you don't know what these things are, please check out my other videos on how to mitigate your risks and your exposures to EMFs, the electromagnetic fields, and get grounded. This will really help bringing those negative electrons from the earth into your body. They really do have a balancing effect to your nervous system and can be great for headaches as well. Tip number 7 is to fix your hormones, namely your leptin resistance. So leptin resistance is something that I talk at length about in other videos, so please check those out because this is really important in terms of chronic and overall inflammation and hormonal imbalance. One of the things that happens is pregnenolone steal, and in order to fix the balance of your testosterone, because they have found that cluster headaches are more common in men and it can be related to low testosterone levels. So fixing this balance by fixing that leptin resistance and leptin signaling is very important. Tip number 8 is to avoid certain ingredients that can be hidden in foods. They're called excitotoxins, and one of the big ones is MSG, so monosodium glutamate. It's found in chips, in soups, so do your best to avoid this toxic ingredient. And tip number 9, I like to always focus in on the mind-body connection. So with cluster headaches, and especially as it's related to the eyes, what is it that you see in your life that you don't necessarily want to see? So I'm talking figuratively. It's not necessarily something in your physical environment that you're actually looking at. Think a little bit outside the box. What is it, that you're not liking what you're seeing? So think about that, make those connections, do some healing, some letting go of whatever that is, and it will go a long way to help the cluster headaches. So today I talked all about cluster headaches and what to do naturally. I hope that you've got some questions or comments for me. Please drop them in the comment section below. Be sure to share this video as well, especially if you know someone who's suffering with chronic cluster headaches. Please give me a thumbs up as well. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and click that bell. Everyone has a calling in life, and one of mine is to educate you how to live your life in tune and in line with nature. Thanks for watching.